Good morning, guys. All right. So to start off, I didn't go live today. Market's still slow, and I don't want to just be sitting here for like an hour, like hour and a half talking. I mean, it's cool talking, but it can get kind of boring after a while, and I don't want you guys just like stare at me while I do nothing. I think it's kind of awkward. But I figured I'll just bring back the live trading when things are picking up, and when there's more excitement, you know. But right now, I'm gonna show you what I traded, and it's what you see on the screen. So I'll show you my entries. So this is my entries and exits. I skipped the day with $14. I think I overtraded a little bit in the beginning. Could have walked away with $10, $24. But so take a look at this. Then take a look at this. On the right is where I have my entries pinned. This is the best way I could think about like where I got my entries. I don't know if there's any better way. Let me know where I can kind of like map this out, just so it's easy to show you guys. I was definitely using the 1 minute to check this out and to really see how I could trade this, and it's a cheaper stock. So initially, so what was the news? We'll go back to that right now. Let's see. There was news, and volume started picking up pretty frequent. So right now it's hitting the new high of day, 125. I knew it was going to be a bit of like a grinder. I just took my profit out of the table. I was like, you know what? I don't want to hold. If I know it's going to be a grinder, if I have a feeling, I don't want to take that chance. So AINX. So actually, news came out first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. Then the next news that came out was 8:15, and that's when I think this next rally picked up. So, or right here. So 8 a.m. news comes out, and then the news comes out 8:15, and I think this next rally really started picking up and was supporting this move up. So initially, I saw the stock. I'm like, okay, the float's actually not bad. It's under a dollar. Got to be careful. But I'm like, oh wait, it's approaching a dollar pretty quickly. So as I'm seeing this approaching the dollar, I'm like, okay, let's check level two how it's looking, and it was looking pretty good for a break up to a dollar. So I took my hit, 100 shares, got $5 in. Then I waited 2 minutes. I waited for some sort of consolidation. I like this bottoming tail. I was like, okay, maybe we'll rip higher. I buy in 100 shares, and I get another $5 in. I get in pretty low, I believe. Let me see where I get in that. So I got in my second entry, 107, and I sell for 113. So another, $5 and 50 cents ish, whatever the math is. And I'm like, oh, cool, I'm up $10. Then I start trading again. I hit another 100 shares, and then I lose $2. I'm like, okay, well, I lose $2 on this. And then I take another 100 shares, and I go, and my entry from that was 112 to 106. So I get it kind of high, 112, and it instantly flushes. I'm like, okay, I'm getting out. It pulled back pretty sharply to 92 cents, and I was like, okay, hands are off. You just lost like most of the profit. Um, yeah, I mean I think it was down up to about a dollar at that point. Let's see, I made five here, five here. That was 10. That was six, eight. Yeah, it was like almost $2. So and I was like, okay, well, let's see what this does. So as I'm approaching this, I'm like, okay, it's breaking VWAP. It's heading for some support. I see the second use hit the scanner, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Let's try this again. I think it's gonna hit pretty well if the second use on the stock 514 comes around, and I buy in 200 shares, and I escape with $4 on the day on that trade. So my entry right here. Let's see, 814. I in 200 shares here, and I hold for about I guess 50 seconds overall and escape with $4. Then two candles later, I get an 816 and let this form a little top. I'm like, okay, let this break. I want it to pull back, and I on my level two, there were some big buyers, big sellers. I'll show you right now. It got pretty congested, got pretty crowded. So this is what I was seeing exactly at 816. I was seeing more on the bid than there was on the ask. I started buying. I started buying with the rest of my buying power. I'm like, this is gonna break up to hopefully $1.20, over $1.15. Because I got my entries were, as you can see, my entries were at 111. So I'm like, okay, this could break 10 cents pretty well, and I'll be happy with that if it does. Because sometimes they do, sometimes they do, and then I'm like, okay, buying, 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 and Jack's at let's see. I think, I'll be honest, on this one, I was looking at, yeah, this is where I was looking at. So I was up at 114, 115. I'm like, oh shoot, I don't know if it's gonna break. kind of get scared. We start hitting the MACD negative on the 10 second. And at this point, I don't know why I started focusing on 10 second. I think it just kind of caught my eye because I was like, okay, we're grinding up against the 10 EMA, but I'm like, okay, we're heading towards a potential downtrend on the 10 second. I know it's noise, and I don't know why I paid attention to that, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my profit on the day, sell. I don't want this to be a day where I'm like, ah, I should have not traded. So, anyways, I ended up profiting $14, and I'm okay with that. I gave some at, it gave some back at the top, and I don't know. This is pretty chaotic, but there was volume. There was volume on the stock, and if you made money, congrats. Like, this is, I think this was a good opportunity to make money on the stock. You know, if you anticipated obviously it would break over a dollar, you could take 1,000 shares and just sell it when it hits like 110, get like $200 on the day if your entry was 90 cents. I thought about it, but I was like, nope, we can't do that. Where it was tempting to buy, it was tempting to buy a lot, and I was like, all right, well, gotta push it slow because you're gonna regret if you buy a lot of shares. So this did end up, if I held maybe another minute or so, three, another 2 more minutes, it would have been a couple more dollars in my pocket, but it is what it is. It retraced, and I don't know if this will continue, but um, market's so slow. And part of the reason why, like, sorry, I know you guys seen my dog. Sorry about that. So if you look on this, I mean, this looked better than what I saw 4 in the morning. If you guys were logged on in the first thing in the morning, you guys would have seen that the floats were mainly green and white. Like there wasn't anything that met the criteria. It was no good. And then stuff like this, SNGL, is popping up on the scanner. Then let's see, before AMIX there was SUN, ONMD, just stuff that wasn't within the criteria. And I'm glad I waited for something that at least was part of the criteria. I mean, it's cheaper, yes, but it's not an option, if that makes sense. And it's looking to have strength. There's volume, so that's why I traded it. So yeah, and it's making new highs again. So I think this was a really good opportunity. Um, yeah, well, you just saw that broke up to 127. So it's interesting watching this, just seeing how things break, how they move. Yeah, well, if you guys enjoyed this, let me know, and let me know what you guys traded for the morning. And I just hope we all can have a better month. I think this month is looking to be better. As long as I just manage my risk, I'll be green on the month regardless, and I'll work my way up again, and I'll do it again. But drawdown, $50 max. That's the max loss day. I have to keep it that way. Right now, my winners are not, you know, like way over that. So that's kind of, now that I was thinking about it, I'm like, wait, if my winners are not over $50, why is my max loss higher than my winners? So that's something I started thinking about. Like maybe I should bring it down, but then again, it's like okay, the volatility of the market right now is not giving us the profits that we need, or giving us trades that we need in order to make more than that. So I don't know. That's something I started thinking about when I first logged on. I'm like, wait, if it's $50, why am I setting it that high when I'm not even making that much right now? And I don't know. Let me know the most you guys have made with since October, or the most you've lost. I mean, shoot, this has been a dry month, but it's maybe turning the corner. I don't know. I'm always trying to be positive, optimistic, because this is what we trade. All right. Good luck. Take care. See you guys later. And yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow.